So this is our breakfast, day 6 or 7. I'm actually lost track on Agaete. We got some coffee and we have some cheese and pate, and there's like a mixture of olive and tomato and garlic. And we have some healthy dessert with passion fruit. Today we're driving to a place called Agaete, and that's where they produce coffee. They roast coffee here on the island, and this is the only place in Europe where coffee is produced. It takes about half an hour to get to Agaete from Las Palmas. This time we were following the scenic B2 route on the north part of the island. The weather was much more moody than in the south. It didn't affect us though, as we were just happy to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some weather situation here. The rain came and went. The weather kept changing and the dark clouds were still covering the sky. With the mountains on the left and the coastline on the right, it was a beautiful drive. The view of the sea was spectacular. It was quite windy and the weather conditions were perfect for surfers. It looked so different than the sandy beaches of the south. One of the best things about Gran Canaria is its diversity in landscapes. I decided to stop to show you the waves, because they are really spectacular. Look at the size of these things. This is our car, still fairly clean. The tunnels reminded us of the ones you can see in Italy. Soon the rain stopped and we saw a blue sky once again. We were driving alongside a cliff, breathing in the fresh, warm breeze from the ocean. The streets were wet, but the air was warm. We arrived in Agaete, and it was very lively despite the weather. It's interesting how this part of the island looks completely different than the south, for example, no? It's a completely different country.
Yeah, like the south is so much more beachy, like this kind of everything is just, you know, it's like beach. Yeah, here is mountains.
We're driving against stream water on the street. It's from the rain. Big palm trees on the right hand side. The plan for today was to see the coffee plantation. There are quite a few of them in the Canary Island, which is the only place in Europe where coffee is grown. This area is called the Valley of the Coffee Farmers. The mild temperatures throughout the year and the fertile lava soil make the area perfect conditions to grow the plant. The coffee grown in Agaete is one of the oldest Arabica variety. The island also produces bananas, tomatoes, cucumbers and aubergines for the European market and a certain amount of olive oil. We followed the road for another 15 minutes. The contrast between the grey clouds and the green grass, together with the smell of the rain in the air, created a very unique atmosphere. All the cars like my car, my first car ever.
Aww.
We had to keep driving for another 5 kilometers from the city center, following the narrow roads. Finally, we arrived at the Café Platinium. The place has a convenient car park outside and it's open all year round. First thing we saw was an orchard full of various fruit trees. And look at this. Coffee. Look at the prickly pear. Yeah, so there's oranges, mangoes, cactus, coffee. This is papaya tree. Some angry chicken. What the hell is that? Hey. Hello. And this is where we arrived. Time for some coffee. So now we got some sweets. And we got 2% Arabica. Very good. Good. Strong flavor.
Oh wow.
Does it taste like the coffee I make?
Yeah.
But the weather is not helping the roasting process. We have to cover everything. Yeah. Very cool place. It looks like the rain is stopping. We can go for a tour soon. Tell me.
So, this is the red cherry. It's the fruit that we pick up from the coffee plant. As you can see in the first picture, there are lots of red cherry. This is an African bed, basically a wooden table. Probably you saw it entering before. And this is where we dry the coffee. Fresh coffee need to stay in this African bed for more or less 1 month.
Oh.
After 1 month, we have this result. The coffee, the red cherry is dry, and now it's ready for get out the skin. This is the skin that we get out from here, and what we remain are the two green coffee beans. Every cherry contains 2 beans.
Wow.
So guys, each plant of our plantation produces 7 kilos per year of red cherry. Of course, we dry it, we lost the weight. We get off the skin, we lost even more weight. We remain from 7 kilos to 1 kilo of green beans. And wait for it, because then we have to toast it. We lost even more weight on the humidity, and then we grind it. So finally, from 7 kilos, we have 700 grams
Okay.
coffee. So the 10%, it's what we remain to make coffee.
The whole plantation, how much did it produce?
More or less, we have 600 plants, 600, 700. So
So, blow inside, please. We want to see if there's still a protection skin. Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, a little bit stronger. Blowing a little bit stronger. Say, and coffee
Very good.
originally came from, you know where it comes from originally?
From Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, here. What we are doing now is roasting the coffee. That means the green coffee gets into roasted coffee. It's double the size, but it gets lighter, okay? Because water gets out, so it gets lighter by roasting it. So Ethiopia, in the 9th century after Jesus, there were shepherds having their goats, and the goats were eating the cherries. Coffee are seeds of the red cherry. And so the goats were eating this cherry, they get really active and happy, and the shepherds say, we want the same. So they started to eat the cherries, but we have another body like animals, so they didn't can get the effect what the goats have. Without roasting, you don't have coffee. The green coffee I showed you before, you can eat it, you can put hot water on it, you will not get out the coffee. The coffee is still inside of the seed. 150 years ago, people from here, they were really poor, they went to South America and they worked there on the plantations, and when they come back, they brought in their, they say in their socks, they brought the fruits of Arabica typicalis. So they started this kind of roasting for themselves, okay, only for private use. For professional use, you are not using this, you get burned. We have to do it inside. Normally we do it outside. Okay. So that you can see. it's very hot now, but if I put it in my hand, you see how oily it is, no? That was the reason why we did this. And if you put it in your hand, like this, and you put it directly into the mouth, you can eat it. Directly into the mouth. Okay. Just don't wait. Don't wait because it's hot. Directly into the mouth, and you say me if you did a good roasting of your own roasted coffee.
It's less bitter than I thought. It's still very dark roast.
Yeah. Normally they don't roast it so dark.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did it right now for showing you how oily it gets, and that you can eat it. If we roast it less, it stay harder. Okay, the beans we ground are very hard. Grapefruit marmalade. This is almond marmalade, and this is mango marmalade.
Wow.
Okay, and the wine of banana. Banana wine. Okay.
This is cactus marmalade.
He explained it already. This, no? Yes. Sorry, mine.
Cactus.
With all the different marmalades. I'm trying it with some cheese, sheep and goat cheese, which we don't like, but in a combination with this. Okay. Okay, now I'm ready.
Yes.
This is an ecological finca. It means that we don't use nothing of chemical. So we have to be prepared and to find a way to make the soil richer and more productive. The way we found was to plant, in addition to the coffee, many more trees from different parts of the world. These different trees allows the soil to be richer because every tree help each other. They create like a symbiosis. Okay, so this is a few examples. This is a mulberry tree. This is the common tree, the common leaf that the silkworm eats to make cedar. Its particularity is that this plant makes two different fruits in two different periods of the year. One from this part of the tree and one other from this one. From here we have the figo, and from here another fruit more typical, which is named brimba. And unfortunately now we don't have neither one or the other. The Canary Island has a strong connection with South America. Why? Because people from Canary Island went to South America, to Cuba, to Venezuela to look for a job in the late 19th century. A generation later things changed. There was more job here, more work, so the sons comes back, and the legend says that they come back with the socks full of seeds. In one of these seeds there was also the coffee. This is, guys, a little plant of coffee if you compare to this, for example, but we know that this is already 5 years old, and we know it because it has fruits. Because a plant of tree of coffee, needs 5 years to start producing fruits. So guys, this finca is 11 years old. This means that 11 years ago here there was just the soil, but the family of the owner is producing coffee since 100. And this family told him, "You are crazy, what are you doing? Everybody knows that the coffee plants need shadow, and you are planting directly under the sun." Well, they had a great surprise because the coffee grew, and nowadays scientists and researchers comes here to study the soil, to study the weather conditions, because they are discovering a new way to plant coffee and to grow coffee. Very traditional machine where we put the dry coffee inside this big mouth, and then it comes out all together. We need to make a little work like this, and then with the end get off the skin and look for the green beans, which are the one that we will go to toast later. Of course, we don't toast all our own coffee. We have a plant in Las Palmas where they make it industrially. Otherwise, we would be every day, all day, toasting coffee. Okay, let's go. Let me cover it because we can't trust of weather today. this will be a pineapple tree. You are lucky to see it as a baby. And this is a pink banana plant. This is a very rare variety of banana, and it's not so widespread in the world or in our European supermarket because the fruit is very sensitive and delicate. It's not that strong like the yellow one, which can be transported all over the world. This one, you can only eat it where it grows. Okay? And this is, I don't know if you have ever seen a banana plant.
Mom has always said that banana plants don't grow.
Maybe she should move to a different country.
So, this is a coffee plant. This is one of the oldest, 11, 12 years old, more 11. What happens to the coffee plants? They can live 50, 60 years, but after the first 10 years, the production decreases. So what we have to do is to cut it at this height, more or less, and this is the result. The plants comes back to grow and more rapidly. This time we will have to wait only 2 years to see new fruits. This one that we can see here is a sweet lime tree, which means that these limes are not good for mojito. This is an avocado tree. The particularity of this fruit is that it won't ever fall to the ground. If you want to eat it, you have to know when to pick it up. For example, this is almost ready. We will see the color, the texture. We will cut it here because it needs this little part to survive, and then we will put it in the darkness for a week, 10 days. Normally here they make it with paper, and then of course we will eat it, hopefully. This is the leaf of this avocado. Many experts and growers of avocado can recognize the variety just smelling the leaf. You will see it because we have another plant at the end of the tour, and you will be able to compare the smell of the leaves. You will see a big difference. This is fuerte, l'avocado fuerte. This is how you will find it in the supermarket, but here we call it frog skin.
Did you eat the leaf?
No. Did you? Which means you did.
You know.
It's passion fruit, and you know why it's named passion fruit? Probably, well, me also in the beginning thought, well, it will be something related to love, couple, another San Valentine. No, it's about Christian numerology, because this flower has 3 of this part, 5 of this one, 5 of this one above, and 12 white petals. So 3 the Trinity, 5 the Father, the Son, and the Spirito Santo, Amen, and the 12 petals like the apostles. Okay, so that's the proof that religion is everywhere, in the planet also. This is a Epolana tree. This tree comes from Israel, but the passport was all okay. We let him go in. And his particularity is that he produces twice per year. We have 2 harvests per year of these little apples. Are like this, more little, more longer, and with this color, red. Twice per year. This year we are at the 3rd. We are at the 3rd and we have new flowers. So in the same time we have fruits almost ready and flowers. And we are at the 3rd harvest. You can see the geometry of the coffee. Every plant of this variety will always have this geometry. Leaves, fruits, space. Leaves, fruits, space. It's always like this. It's his DNA. You can try to smell this leaf. And tell me if it's a little bit different. The first one more citric, more strong. This one is normal, without many savors. Of course, we can also see the difference by watching the fruit, by touching it. It's different, of course. This is because of the sun. It's not the fruit which is growing, it's just the sun. And as you can see, if we don't pick the fruit, it dies on the tree. You see that black one? It dies like this. It's a very lazy fruit. Membrillo, quince, and it's a particular fruit because, as you probably know, it's hard as a rock. Okay. The way we eat it is most of all like confiture or marmalade. But here in Canarias, the children discovered a new method to eat it because they used it to play in the beach as if it were balls. And what happened that these fruits flowed on the water. Okay, flowing on the water it absorbs salted water, so the fruit gets softer. And with salt water also get an agrodulce taste, like a little bit sweet, a little bit salted. So they discovered this way to eat. This is Pitanga, Suriname cherry. It's like we can say an exotic cherry, because we are all European, for us it's exotic. And it's more or less like a cherry, a little bit bigger and with a different taste. Always sweet, but in a way different. Okay. And this is Jambolan. It's an Indian tree. It produces a fruit, always sweet, but which seems like an olive. In the end of the tree you can see some fruits, and consider that this tree is only 9 years old. It's a super fast growing tree. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
If you want more coffee or anything, just ask, okay?
Before we continued our journey, we had one more look at the vineyards and the coffee plantations from the drone. They looked fantastic from the air. Visiting them is a very good way to spend the afternoon. The population of Agaete is around 5,500 people, and most of them rely on the tourism industry. Apart from the coffee, the Agaete Valley is famous for its fresh fish and tropical fruits. The biggest industry in the area was once shoemaking. The Agaete Valley is known among the locals as Gran Canaria's Valley of Longevity. People living there believe that the water that seeps from the base of the 800-meter Tamadaba Massif is the healthiest on the island and prolongs life. The elders often walk up to the stream to collect their drinking water. Judging from the amount of them, this story must be true. The valley has also the most recent lava and the oldest rock on the island. The stones in San Pedro village are close to 14 million years old. There's also a site with over 700 pre-Hispanic tombs. We drove to a nearby beach hidden in a cove. Agatha Christie once visited Agaete in 1927, where she wrote one of her short stories called The Companion. We were wondering if she came to this spot to get inspiration, as it was definitely inspiring to us. We took a shot of the banana plantation located on the top of the cliff. This sweet fruit is the most important crop in the Canaries. In 2020 alone, the island produced 530 million kilograms of bananas. When we came back, we decided to eat something less traditional, and we went to an American-style diner called Denny's that was just next to our hotel. We ordered burgers with fries, exactly what we needed. It was also the cheapest meal we had so far. So this is our second last day. Actually last full day. Saturday. We're in the shopping center and we're going to get some breakfast. You can see they have Christmas decorations everywhere. Not the healthiest snack we ever had. It's so tasty. It's 25 degrees now. We have arrived to the Las Palmas beach area, which is, you can tell, much more touristy and much more affluent. Everything is nicer, cleaner. Hotels are more fancy. Everything is nice and green here. A lot of palm trees. As it was almost the end of our journey, we wanted to see the beach one more time, but we were there for less than an hour, as it was more windy than before. Just wanted to stop to film this. Looks like some sort of irrigation system that leads on to all the way down there to the beach. On the way, we saw a beautiful rainbow. We were excited to check into our last hotel on this trip, as it looked amazing on the website. It was indeed very special. The place looked more like a modern art museum than a hotel. Our hosts left a small welcome gift for us, and it was a very polite gesture. There were journals on the table from 1981, the year I was born, and they were in a good condition, just like myself. As I didn't have time to practice my Spanish, I don't know what was in them. The owner surely liked Frida Kahlo, as they had a pillow with her face on it and her biography on the bookshelf. The hotel was designed with care and style. While Nelly was unpacking, I filmed the rest of the room. The bathroom alone was the size of a small flat in London, and everything in it was like it belonged in the museum. It had a bath with a shower and a wash basin, on top of which there were two beautiful trinket boxes, and they seemed expensive. I wish I could tell you more about them, but my knowledge about art is non-existent. After I spent another couple of minutes admiring all the artifacts, I went on to explore the rest of the house. Not surprisingly at all, it was equally satisfying. I mean, there was a traditional Austrian outfit on the wall. There was a surprise everywhere. The large kitchen was clean and very well equipped. The owners reassured us we can feel like at home. In the study, there was an actual piece dug out on the outskirts of Rome by one of our hosts, who happened to also be an archaeologist. If you like artwork, you should definitely visit this place. I will leave the name of the hotel in the description of the video. It was not only very unique, but also had a homely and welcoming feel to it. After a short rest, we went for a dinner to one of the local restaurants. The place was stylish and had amazing view. There were many interesting options on the menu. They had a good selection of traditional Canarian cuisine, including beef, lamb, pork and fish. I chose a chickpeas dish with different meats and fried shrimps as a starter, and Nelly traditionally had a steak. I also ordered spicy tripe, but I overestimated my ability to eat all of that, which made local cats very happy. The next morning it was time to say goodbye to our friendly hosts, who told us we don't have to check out until afternoon, as they wanted us to relax before our flight. They really should be role models for all hoteliers. This is our last stop here in Gran Canaria.
Would not last forever. We're gonna come back.
Last this time. Probably last this year. Probably last this year.
Who knows? Who knows?
For our last lunch, we chose a place recommended to us by our friends who live in Gran Canaria. Restaurant La Cofradia d'Ateliarte is not a typical 5-star establishment. Looking very modest from the outside, offers the freshest fish you can get on the island. It quickly became obvious when we saw the queue forming outside. After 20 minutes wait, we finally got our table, and that made us very excited and happy. I was so hungry at that point that I had to stop myself from ordering the whole menu. Finally, I decided to take fish soup as a starter, a plate of scallops and a beer. While we waited, we had some bread with garlic butter, and I filmed the fresh sea breams in the fridge. In this restaurant you can either order fresh fish, just buy it, come here and buy it, because it's like an association of fishermen. Or you can just come here and they will cook it for you.
A little bit fishy.
So good. This is our fish of the day. Beautiful white fish. Very sweet, very tasty. A lot of garlic on top, some lemon, and boiled potato. Very simple, yet delicious. Overall, Gran Canaria was one of our favorite trips of all times, probably because we rarely ever had so much sunshine in November. We loved the beaches, the food, the people, and the memories we have created there. We will definitely be back. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.